Hello, my name is Nayeli Mendoza, and welcome to my SDCP presentation. For my advisor, I chose Mr. Duvall. He was my sophomore year math teacher for Integrated 3, and I chose him to be my advisor because though I was really bad at math and I didn't have much motivation, Mr. Duvall never gave up on me, and he always gave me a second chance, and he believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself. Moving on to my personal story, I was born in Pomona on February 5th. I have 2 parents, 3 sisters, and 1 half-brother. I attended Shoal Elementary in San Dimas and then moved on to Lone Hill Middle School and San Dimas High School, where I'm at now. For my interests, I included my interest in TV and film, my interest in music and collecting physical copies of the music that I like, creating jewelry. I like to make stuff with crystals, with dried plants, or just cool beads that I find. Occasionally, if my attention span allows it, I will find a good book to read, sometimes a graphic novel, sometimes not. And occasionally, I will draw just for fun. My achievements in high school were mostly centered around my participation in the school journalism class. When I was a sophomore, I was a writer, and I was awarded Saint of the Month by Mrs. Lehrman, who runs the journalism class. She awarded me Saint of the Month for my contributions both as a writer and a photographer. And my senior year, I was promoted to assistant editor for the newspaper, so I look over everybody's writing and I give them advice and I help run the site. Clubs and extracurriculars, I was in the environmental club my junior year up until everything shut down. We were having meetings at local parks in Claremont, San Dimas, and Pomona to plant trees, and we would have meetings at school to spread awareness about environmentalism and reducing your carbon footprint. I was also in Femineers with former San Dimas teacher Mr. Ng. He created the program to encourage young women to join STEM, specifically engineering, to close that gap between men and women in STEM subjects. I was also in Mr. Black's face painting crew from sophomore to junior year. He taught the advanced and AP art students how to face paint, and we would attend events with him, either related to the school or not, and we would face paint for volunteer hours or just for fun sometimes. Moving on to the rewarding parts of high school, I'm really grateful that I was able to meet all of the people that I did and create such wonderful bonds the past 4 years. Also, I was able to figure out what's important to me and for my own ideas of right and wrong and have my own moral compass. And in my AP psychology class, we learned about identity versus role confusion, which is the struggle that most teens have to go through in figuring out who they are. And I'm really glad that I was able to power through this and be confident in who I am and what my interests are and the type of things that I do and don't enjoy. The challenging parts of high school were AP Physics and Honors Chemistry. These classes really showed me that I have difficulty with time management and finding intrinsic motivation. Not being sure of what's next for me after high school made it easy to lose motivation because I really had no goal to work towards. So it just became kind of a spiral, and my grades just kept getting lower and lower because the end of high school came closer and it's like a doom awaited me. My freshman year best work, I chose my Intro to Art sketchbook from Mr. Black's class, and I chose this because I had previously never really been into drawing, but his class showed me how much fun it can be, and I'm really grateful that I was accidentally placed in this class because As you can see in the third photo, I have a collection of sketchbooks that I have been filling since then, and I'm really proud of myself for keeping this hobby, and also I received 100% on this project. For my sophomore year best work, I chose an article I wrote for journalism. Mrs. Lehrman selected me to write the Black History Month because she felt I was talented enough and a good enough writer. I received 100%, and I was able to interview former San Dimas students about race relations from a few decades ago. I talked to 2 staff members and a couple students about what it's like currently. For my junior year best work, I chose the research paper I did in my English class about the importance of drug reform and decriminalization. I researched different countries' tactics and policies regarding drug abuse and how they handled it, and how we can apply this to present-day America with the drug epidemic. I received 100% on this essay, and I'm extremely proud of it. For my senior year best work, I chose a research project. It was an argumentative presentation and essay. I wrote about socialism in Latin American countries and how the United States imperialism affects these nations and essentially is their downfall. Moving on to my community service, I completed my 60 hours by babysitting 4 children in Riverside and teaching them how to speak Spanish and how to write and read, teaching them the alphabet, things like that. And once I finished these hours, she hired me, and this is my full-time job now, and I am very grateful that I was able to do this. For my interest profiler and careers, my results were social and realistic. For the careers, the test told me that I should be a park naturalist, which sort of is interesting, and the other 2 results were fitness trainer and fitness study professor. I'm not sure where these answers came from. They're interesting, but not for me in any way, shape, or form. High school and beyond, I plan to go to Mount SAC for the next 2 years to get my associate's degree, and then moving to Santa Cruz, where I will attend UC Santa Cruz for 2 years. I'm not sure exactly what I want to major in yet. Probably a type of social science, and eventually become a social worker or work at a rehab facility. Truly, my dream would be to own a cool esoterics shop or a bookshop like the ones I put on the right. But realistically, I will probably work some type of career in social work. And this concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.